I don't need it. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschachade Satarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Cold and windy fall day today, especially windy. But it's nice in here, nice and warm. With all of you who are enthusiastic to hear, chant, Shrotavya Kirtitavyasya Dhyaya Pujascha Nityada, according to Sutta Goswami's teaching. This is the way that we can become Atma Suprasidati, fully satisfied. What does fully satisfied mean? Na sochati, na kangsati, samaksaveshu bhuteshu. That's where we're headed. That's our target. And then there's the process to get there. And the process to get there is exactly what we plan to do this evening. Before coming here to Baltimore and Washington, actually there's a non-stop flight, Southwest Airlines, from Dallas to Baltimore yesterday. Non-stop. So before coming here to Baltimore, Washington area, I was in Texas. And while in Texas, we had a very nice time. We heard about Kunti's life. I should start with a question. Is there anybody here, looking around? I don't think there is. Is there anybody here that needs an introduction to who is Queen Kunti? Anybody here needs that introduction? Okay, because there were some people in Potomac, some Western people. Rather than retelling, the whole, this is part 8 of Kunti's prayers. Because before Kunti's prayers, we had a nice, elaborate discussion about who she is and her importance. One of the characteristics that I think it's worth commencing this discussion, there's a phrase that's used and a sloka that goes with the phrase that's used to indicate in Vedic history 5 exalted women devotees or women personalities who suffered a lot, yet despite the circumstance of their suffering, they never deviated from Dharma. So Kunti is one of those 5, and so a characteristic of her is exalted, 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 difficulty, difficulty, difficulty. Dharma, Dharma, Dharma. She adhered to Dharma. And there are some circumstances, particularly the situation with Karna, that's a little difficult. Like, how could she do what she did? It has a difficulty. And we heard about that in her life. That is, at a certain point of time, because her sons didn't know, and Karna didn't know. And when she debated, and because the war is about to begin, she had to tell him. But how can I tell him? What's his reaction going to be? Because she hadn't told him. And he exploded. Not surprising. And difficulty after difficulty after the whole circumstance of her life was difficult. I mean, how it came to be that Karna became her son, and then there's a backstory behind that, and there's a backstory behind that. Dambodbhava. Does that name mean anything to you? No. Dambodbhava was a demon. This is from Mahabharata. Dambodbhava was a demon, and he underwent severe austerities to get the benediction of becoming immortal. Lord Shiva came. Yes, what would you like? You please me by your austerities. I want immortality, please. I'm sorry, I can't give you immortality. So then it's a long narration, but he wanted a benediction that he could have 1,000 armors, and only way that could be removed was first, each one of them, the person who was in combat with him had to first undergo austerities for 1,000 years, and then defeat him in battle, and then one of those armors would fall off, but the person would die. And he has 999 other armors remaining. That was pretty clever, huh? So that's what he was given. Sahasra Kavacha. Dambodbhava became Sahasra Kavacha. Anyway, long story. Narayan took birth, that the appeal of the demigods, help, this demon is terrorizing all of us. Narayan appeared, and they teamed up, and one did the austerities and then had battle, and he removed the armor and then died. And then the other, Narayana, brought him back to life. And then they did it the other way. Anyway, it's a very, very interesting story. 999 of the 1,000 armors were removed. One armor remained. So he, Dambodbhava, went to Lord Shiva, no, excuse me, it wasn't Lord Shiva, it was Surya. It was Surya. And what to do. So he became the son of Surya, but he still had this diabolical spirit. And misfortune, a very, very enigmatic life, a tragic life, very sad. It's a very interesting character. Very interesting character. Grandfather Bhishma, here's another puzzle. This is Mahabharata stories. Mahabharata? Have you read Mahabharata? Okay. You know who Grandfather Bhishma is, right? So Grandfather Bhishma got the name Bhishma because of a great vow. You know what his vow was? I won't become king and I won't marry. So that his father Santanu could marry Satyavati. You know that story? So when Devavrata became Bhishma, he told his father, he keeps his word. And his word was, although I won't become king, I'll always give support to the king. And it's for that reason that he became the commander-in-chief. Because a vow to his father. He's not going to break his vow. Even he knew Duryodhana is this corrupt person. And he tried again and again and again to persuade Dhritarashtra, don't support, because his father, Dhritarashtra, didn't have such a vow. Bhishma had such a vow. Stop supporting him. He's a murderer. He's bad. Stop supporting him. Dhritarashtra, if I can't become king, then my son should become king. Compromised. So, Grandfather Bhishma is another tragic hero in all of this. But when Grandfather Bhishma was asked to become the commander-in-chief, he gave two conditions. One, I will not kill the Pandavas, and I won't be able to kill the Pandavas because they're protected by Krishna. So don't expect me to kill the Pandavas. And then there came the 5 arrows and all of that. But another was, if Karna fights, I won't fight. If I fight, Karna will not fight. Because he knew Karna's disposition. He didn't, the history as well he knew, but he's bad. I won't fight. I won't. He didn't have a pledge to Santanu about Karna. I won't fight on the same side with Karna. He can fight, but I won't. Anyway, Karna's a very puzzling person, and that was the first of Kunti's sons. And how she, as a mother and a dharmic lady, how she felt about all of that. Very difficult. There are some very difficult circumstances that great personalities have to face, without going into some, for example, this one, that one. We have to face some, but nothing like what they had to face. We all have to face. Small, medium, and large people, we all have to face very challenging circumstances. Should we turn left or right? Should we or stand still or pause? Or what should we do? Those circumstances come. So in this painting, can you see the painting on the screen? Okay, this painting is just after the Rajasuya Yagya. Rajasuya Yagya was commenced by Yudhisthira because the Pandavas had returned, without all the history, they had returned back to Hastinapur, knowing, everyone knew, Yudhisthira is the heir to the throne. And Duryodhana was stuck. Now I want to be the heir to the throne. And Dhritarashtra kind of wanted that too. So they gave him half the kingdom. You know the history? What was the name of the place? I'm asking you. What was the... Indraprastha. No, what was the name of the place that they were given by Dhritarashtra? Indraprastha, right? Indraprastha? I'm checking this young boy. Indraprastha? You've heard?
It was called Khandaprastha, and then they changed the name to Indra.
Yeah, very good. So why Khandaprastha? Because there was a forest. You'll give you half the kingdom. It's a forest, guys. We're over here in the big capital. You get the forest. See you later. Khandava forest. Khandavaprastha became Indraprastha. Very good. Yeah, you're welcome. And, many things happened, many things. One of the things that happened was Agni had indigestion. Too many yagyas, too much ghee, indigestion. I got to do something for my indigestion. And over here, there's this Khandava forest, and it has so many medicinal herbs and, just the right thing to cure my indigestion. So I have to devour by fire. I have to devour the forest. But every time I do, I start, Indra makes this deluge of rain and I can't. Help. Will help. So Krishna and Arjuna, details and details and details, because it's Mahabharata, they protected because the forest was filled with Rakshasas and hobgoblins and Danavas and bad people. And as they were leaving the forest because it was on fire, Krishna with a chakra and Arjuna with his arrows, they chopped him. One of them escaped. And his name was? Maya. A nice name, huh? Mom and Dad, if you ever have a nice son, you want to, anyway, call him Maya. Maya Danava. Maya Danava Krishna was ready to Sudarshan Chakra finish him. Maya Danava had the smarts to take shelter at the feet of Arjuna. Protect me. So Arjuna said, yes, I'll protect you. Because he's a Kshatriya. One who takes shelter of a Kshatriya gives protection, right? So Krishna stopped his chakra and didn't chop him. Maya Danava felt completely indebted. And he offered to Arjuna, you ask me for anything, it is yours. And Arjuna said, no, my duty as a Kshatriya is to give protection. I don't give protection for getting something. I don't do something to get something. That's a bribe. No, thank you. I just serve. And Krishna said, accept something. Because your Yudhisthira has this now half-burned forest, the Khandava forest, and there's no place to live. Maya Danava is the architect for the Danavas. This person can build you and the Pandavas and your Yudhisthira fantastic palace. Say yes. Have him build a palace. Now, Khandavaprastha became Indraprastha. So Maya Danava went to gather all the ingredients, because it takes a lot of ingredients to build a palace. And while he was gone, he asked the king of the Danavas for his club and gave the Danava king's club to Bhima. Just what Bhima needed, right? Big club. And many, many, many other things. And they built a fantastic palace, and the fantastic palace became such a celebrated place. You know what happened. You all know that. You all the stories. So they invited Duryodhana to come and see their nice little palace. And when he came to see their nice little palace, it was a very tricky place. Land looks like water, water looked like land, so he stepped on a place that looked like land, and it was a pool. And he fell in the pool. And Krishna was there with his queens, and they started laughing because Duryodhana fell in the pool. And Yudhisthira said, stop, that's not nice. He's a king. He's a Kshatriya, he's a ruler. And Krishna said, laugh. Because Krishna wanted to irritate Duryodhana, because he wanted the Pritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya. Krishna wanted. So sure enough, there was war. And Karna was especially against the Pandavas, just like he was in this demoniac spirit. So the scene here is after this palace was constructed and a big, big festival to inaugurate the Indraprastha palace, Yudhisthira decided now is the time to establish myself as the emperor, with advice of the Brahmanas, etc. Now is the time. So he conducted the Rajasuya Yagya, and Krishna was present. Now, the scene is Krishna's on the chariot heading back for Dwarka. Just, the session before was that celebrated verse. Many of you know the celebrated verse where Kunti was praying to Krishna, I'm torn between my sons, the Pandavas, and my parents and my family on the parental side, the Vrishnis. Krishna, it's inauspicious if Krishna stays here and doesn't go there, inauspicious for us if Krishna goes. So Krishna, please create auspiciousness for both. You can do it, Krishna. Oh, but she spoke it in such a way, please remove the material portion of my affection. She didn't use that adjective, but the material portion of my affection for both my sons and my parents and their families, my relatives. And now we're about to end. So this is the conclusion of a series of 43, 44 verses. It's really nice. And now we're going to see if it works, because there's some music embedded, Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu, so we're going to sing it together. And hopefully, the sound system works. Doesn't work. There we go. So she's going to sing twice. There's a pause in between. You got to pause or it gets really messed up. Some dialing back. No? It's got to be made louder. Pause. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Krishna Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Oh, my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. So this is invocation, and here's the last. So 43 verses make the totality of her prayers, and she's concluding. Pause. Menanya Vishaya Matir Madhum Pate Sakrit Ratim Udharatad Adha Gange Vagyam Udanvati. Tvai Menanya Vishaya Matir Madhupate Sakrit Ratim Udharatad Adha Gange Vagyam Udanvati. Mati madhupate sakrit ratim udvahatad adha gange ragam udamrati. Oh, Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges flows, forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. Ananya Bhakti, right? That's Queen Kunti. This is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's paraphrase of what she's saying. May my mind also carry its affection to you, who are the shelter of all the devotees, just as the Ganga does not consider any obstacles on its course. My mind also should not consider any obstacles that may arise while thinking of you. Now, it's one of the main features. She's one of 5 Panchakanya ladies that face difficulties. We all face difficulties, but difficulty after difficulty, and always remained, in many cases, they just remained fixed to Dharma. In her case, she's fixed to Krishna. And she's praying, may that day come, like the Ganges doesn't worry about obstacles. To cut off the tie of all other affections does not mean complete negation of the finer elements, like affection for someone else. This is not possible. This is Prabhupada's language. A living being, whoever he may be, must have this feeling of affection for others because this is a symptom of life. The symptoms of life, feelings of attraction, etc., cannot be annihilated. Only the objective has to be changed. Only the objective has to be changed. And so the object, subject, object, we're the subject and Krishna is the object. Affection, where Krishna is at the center, that's wanted. Relations of the soul established in relation with the Supreme Soul are factual relations. When Kunti Devi wanted to cut off the family relation, that's previous verse 42, she meant to cut off the relation of the skin. The skin relation is the cause of material bondage, but the relation of the soul is the cause of freedom. A little explanation of her deep affection for Krishna. This relation of the soul to soul can be established by the via medium of the relation with Supersoul. Now here's a little drawing to illustrate. There's this nice fellow on the right side. He's a Chinese man, and he doesn't follow the regular principles. He's smoking a pipe, and who knows what's in that pipe. But he has a friend, and the friend similarly is a nice Chinese man, and they have other points of similarity. They both have little beards. The man on the right has a bigger beard, and they're both Chinese, and they both have spirit soul. That's the similarity. And this fellow has a different spirit soul. But they both have the same super soul. So the soul to soul, is there such a thing as, a soul relationship? Yes. The soul relationship is when there's the via median of a relation with the super soul. You get connected to super soul, and you can have a soul to soul relationship, not only on the platform of the body. Seeing in the darkness is not seeing, but seeing by the light of the sun means to see the sun and everything else which was unseen in the darkness. Prabhupada's language. That is the way of devotional service. So she's praying for that capacity. Here's Vishwanath's commentary. Throughout all of her prayers, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is a fantastic commentator. May my mind hold affection, or rati, For you, without any obstacle, udva means to flow strongly. The mind should not think of anything else. Ananya vishaya. Your devotees are non-different from you, and thus, without affection for them, affection for you cannot take place. It is not possible that this could please you. This I know, therefore, let my mind have attraction for no one except you and your devotees. I pray to cut affectionate bonds with the Pandavas and Yadavas who are your devotees, but since it is a prayer in front of you, it means cutting only the material affection which arises from bodily identification. It is not cutting the affection of relation with you. I want to cut that affection which causes bondage. Very nice clarification with a verse that can be puzzling. She's a pure devotee. And here's the final verse. I hope the sound system is going to work. Want to do something?
Krishna Sakha Vrishni Rishabhavanendra Rajanya Vamshadahana Pavarga Virya Govinda Govija Surarti Haravatara Yogeshwara Khila Guru Bhagavan Namaste Shri
Krishna Krishna Sakha Vrishni Rishabhavanendra Rajanya Vamshadahana Bhargavirya Govinda Godvija Surati Haratara Yogeshwara Khila Guru Bhavan Namaste. Different meter, the last verse. Oh, Krishna, O friend of Arjuna, oh, chief among the descendants of Vrishni, you are the destroyer of those political parties which are disturbing elements on this earth. Your prowess never deteriorates. You are the proprietor of the transcendental abode, and you descend to relieve the distresses of the cows, the brahmanas, and the devotees. You possess all mystic powers, and you are the preceptor of the entire universe. You are the Almighty God, and I offer my respectful obeisances. The Almighty Lord, this is Prabhupada, the Almighty Lord has his eternal transcendental abode where he is engaged in keeping Surabhi cows. Let's go. Krishna with cows. He is served by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. He descends on the material world to reclaim his devotees and to annihilate the disturbing elements in groups of political parties and kings who are supposed to be in charge of administration work. He creates, maintains, and annihilates by his unlimited energies, and still he is always full with prowess and does not deteriorate in potency. The cows, the brahmanas, and the devotees of the Lord are all objects of his special attention. because they're very important factors for the general welfare of living beings. Krishna with cows. Govinda. So that's our little presentation. Now, two things. My understanding is Sunday feast lectures are traditionally a little shorter than home programs and other things that can go on and on because attention span is what it is. And also, a second is looking around the room. I like very much, it's my experience also, that the first question or two take a while, and I'm very patient. And once there's questions, like there's hands up all over the place. So I'm really looking forward to a nice, lively discussion session with all of you. Already? That was quick. Okay. Here's the microphone.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Hearing Queen Kunti prayers from you always is very enlightening, very, very enlightening.
You want to know who they are? By name?
Yes.
Sita,
Okay.
Ahalya, the wife of Ravana, Mandodari, and Devaki, Draupadi, yes. Tara. He wants to take the microphone from you.
It was open.
Yeah, you got a good voice. Go ahead.
My second question is, Maharaj, I think you very nicely explained about Karna's past life and how has so many kavachas. How he has 1,000 kavacha, then he took shelter of Surya, and so what my question is, often people see he has many good qualities, like he was very charitable.
He is a mix.
He's a mix, and a lot of demoniac quality as well. And we see often, as you mentioned, that a lot of dharmic quality and a lot of adharmic quality.
Yes, he's mixed.
And he's mixed, and he's born to a pure devotee like Kunti Maharani. So, and we see everywhere in today's world, people see a lot of dharmic quality. At the same time, there are many adharmic quality, and most of the time, the religion has been used for material gain or profits, and we see all over that in Mahabharata also. So,
what's your point? Are you just elaborating? Is there a punchline to all this?
yeah, the question what I'm trying to ask, Maharaj, is like, how do we understand, when somebody is showing a lot of good qualities,
They're mixed.
like Karna at the same time?
You've answered your own question. There's a mix. And pure is very rare. And there's a way to make that which is mixed pure. What is it? Heat. Fire. Bhaktisiddhanta, the fire of ordeal. Like gold that has alloys. Molten gold, then you scoop off the alloys and the gold separates. But it's ordeal.
Thank you.
If you got a better method, that's fine with me, but that's Krishna's method. Fire of ordeal.
Thank you, Maharaj. The wonderful lecture. One question is that you had mentioned about Bhishma Pitama didn't want to fight with Karna on his side. I couldn't understand very clearly that, okay, I know he's brother of them, but what was the exact reason why he didn't want to fight with Karna on his side?
It's not perfectly clear, but my understanding is he had taken a vow to his father, and he was prepared to keep his vow to his father, and therefore commander-in-chief. But he placed a condition. I don't want to be party. You're the king. You're the ruler of this group, and so I'll be the commander-in-chief. But that fellow over there, he's diabolical. You are too, but you're the king and he's not. So I won't fight with him. I'm a man of principle, and I keep my vow. But I don't have a vow that I'm going to help. I'm going to fight with. So he can fight, but I'm not going to fight. That was my understanding, because he knew his nature. He was particularly, adamant against the Pandavas, and Arjuna in particular. And Bhishma knew it. So.
Thank you.
Okay.
You can raise your hand if you have a comment or question.
Come on, ladies. Someone on the ladies' side.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. So beautiful class.
Hold the microphone a little closer.
And you mentioned that Kunti Maharani prayed to Krishna to cut the bondage of material relationship, but she want to be connected with Krishna and his
Spiritual only.
devotees, spiritual bond. How we can apply this to in our daily life?
Ananya bhakti. Bhajate mam ananya bhak. Sadhureva samantavya. So, the alignment, you taking Prabhupada's words, attachment or affection is the symptom of life. So you and I, how do we apply it? Align those attachments that we have to Krishna. I mean, so my mind for some reason is going to, on the flight over here, there was a lady right in the front, and she had a violin in a violin case. And she was really attached to his violin and violin case. Now, supposing there's a devotee that likes music. Do you know devotees that like music? I know devotees that really like music, for Krishna. And there's, so they have musical instruments, but it's for Krishna. So that's a material example. Affinity for what? That which is in relation to Krishna, aligned with service to Krishna. And like these devotees here that are working, it was a really big number to raise the funds for an agricultural project, a farm project, a cow protection project. Other people may have an interest in doing that, but what's the interest over here? Our founder Acharya wanted it. Krishna is pleasing to Krishna. That's a practical application of the principle. I'll give another little example. In some family somewhere in North America, I won't say where, the young daughter, they have two daughters, the younger of the two daughters said, I want to have a pet. Is it okay to have a pet? She knows the answer. So I said, how about this? Adopt a cow. Because, the family regularly comes to Gitanagari. We do stuff in Gitanagari together. Adopt a cow or a calf, a calf. So she was nodding her head gently. She wanted a pet, but she went, okay, a calf. So with great enthusiasm, she told me she adopted two. And, she named one of them Vrinda and the other Tulsi or something like that. And, she sent me pictures of embracing Vrinda and Tulsi. And you get it? Align that which is on the material side with that which is going to be pleasing to Krishna. And the affinity for Krishna grows. And Krishna is pleased when he sees. And that's the relationship. Pleasing the beloved, and the beloved is pleased by the lover. That's the relationship. It's a nice question. Thank you. Someone else? Oh, come on. Okay, we'll end.
These prayers, was this towards the end after the war when Krishna was going to Dwarka, right?
No,
Okay.
not after the war. It's after the. My understanding is it's after the Rajasuya Yagya, not after the war. Now, after the war was done, there was another Rajasuya Yaga in Hastinapur. But this was in Indraprastha. That's the chronology, as I understand it.
Okay, because I thought when he protected the Uttara's womb itself, then she says, "Today I saw you protecting." So maybe I was confused for that one.
I'll go back and double check, because what you're saying is correct, and that's during the war, not later. Okay. Okay.
Maharajji, in the last shloka, it was something like Go Dvija. And somewhere else in the Bhagavatam, it says that go, the go word mean go, also means senses control. So my question is but one of the explanation is go is also a cow, like a cow protector. So my question is, why would, does it mean like senses or cow? And if it is cow, why would like a preferential treatment be given to cows only? Because all other animals also need, sympathy.
So what's special about the cow? Is that your question? Moo. What's special about a brahmana? Go brahmana hittayacha. What's special about a brahmana? And then what's special about the cow? The cow gives, using Prabhupada's words, nutritious food that sanctifies the finer brain tissues of a human being, and other, goat's milk, and other animals that provide milk is not the same. It doesn't have the same value. Cow milk has special value, and everything from the cow is pure. Their urine is pure, their stool is pure, their milk is pure. It's not the same for other animals, not the same. And they're defenseless. They need protection. They don't have teeth and claws, and they don't have a way to protect. They need to be protected, like mother, cow, to be protected. So the position of cow in relation to human society is special, which is, I think, what your question is, amongst all animals. So it does not like disregard other animals, but special affection for the cows, like special for the brahmanas, because the benefit that goes to human society from a qualified brahmana, and the benefit that goes to human society from cows, then you say the opposite. Those that don't give protection to cows or abuse cows it brings degradation to society really fast.
Okay, Maharaji, but from the cow perspective, like even other animals are also, important, like horses, for example, right?
Yeah, that's
So
right. They're
from a
less-
material standpoint, it does make sense that, they are very helpful from a material standpoint, cows, but from a
it's-
spiritual.
Yeah. It depends on what you want. You want to carry loads, then the horse is better. You want spiritual well-being, the cow is better. Yeah, they're both dear to Krishna, and the cow is especially dear to Krishna because of all the services that the cows do and the benefit to human society that the cows give. The cow is most dear, like the Brahmana. Okay. We're going to end. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Oh, I want to say something. Excuse me, here's a banner, the Gita Marathon banner. You see it? I'll tell a little Prabhupada story. Once upon a time, there were very few temples. And the temple that I started, that when as an undergraduate student, I visited Boston to potentially enroll or seek enrollment in a grad school in Boston, because there are lots of good grad schools in Boston, lots of good colleges in Boston. When I was there, I visited the temple. It was such a delightful experience. When the time came to take shelter of an ashram, it was Boston. And I learned this because there was only like 4 actual temples that, they had a property. Los Angeles, Montreal, New York, and Boston. Few places. And it wasn't, anyway, it was just a storefront. Prabhupada personally Prabhupada assigned a quota in order to publish Back to God, you have to tell the publisher how many copies. So Prabhupada decided how many copies. And then that they would be distributed. Prabhupada assigned so many copies for Boston, so many for New York, so many for Montreal, so many for Los Angeles. And then, because I remember this very clearly. And after, 1 month, then there was another month, because the monthly publication. So Prabhupada bumped up the quota. So you get this many, you have been maintaining a quota, from what I understood, for a number of years. Where did that number come from? And there are some people, I know some people, they don't like the number thing. They think it's material. So many, and, just distribute books. That's nice, just distribute books. But then the publisher has to have an idea of how many. And that, the distributor has to have an idea of how many. So it's nice to have goals. Prabhupada used that system. He assigned goals. And he wanted, it's not like we lost some points with our spiritual master if we didn't meet those goals. But he want, and why did he want? Because people are in ignorance. And without knowledge, they're going to remain in ignorance. And what happens when you have ignorance instead of knowledge? You suffer. He wanted people to be happy. I mean, very explicitly. Again and again and again and again and again. Why did he do what he did? So people could be happy, freed from the bondage of ignorance. And so distribution of literature, and specifically distribution of here, the emphasis is Bhagavad Gita. Of course, you probably do some things during the Srimad Bhagavatam marathon as well. But it has the power to transform human society. exactly the language of the Bhagavatam. The revolution, the impious lives of the people in general. There's the power to do that. So, enthusiasm behind such an effort, fantastic. And, each ISKCON center can do something. Each person can do something. And then, the collective makes, this is why the organization of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness to in the whole world, to create a revolution, spiritual revolution in the impious lives of people in general. So be a revolutionary. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.